Hey everybody, it's no surprise that I like to paint birds. You'll see a lot of birds here in my studio and I enjoy doing that, and it brings me a lot of joy. But what's even better is when somebody comes into my studio and asks me to paint a very specific bird. And so in today's video, we're going to paint a bird known as the Western Tanager. And it's a very bright, fun colored bird, and it should be a lot of fun. So if you like this sort of thing, in today's video will also be available on Patreon. So be able to check that there if you're interested. And thanks for joining me. And if you're my subscribers, you know, I so appreciate you. And if you're not, I would love it if you would go ahead and subscribe. So without further ado, let's jump in to this little bird known as the Western Tanager. Okay, folks, here you see the rough sketch of the Western Tanager. Alrighty now, here is our palette. We have cadmium yellow, this is the Michael Harding's color Lake Yellow. I have cadmium yellow light, burnt sienna, vermilion. This is the Chevron paint red, French red. I have just a permanent orange. I have alizarin crimson, and I have, this is Mars black. I have cadmium green, gold green, sap green. I have a Michael Harding's Italian umber green, I think is what it is. I have Van Dyke brown, white, dioxazine purple, and Michael Harding's King's blue. And that will be our starting lineup for today's piece. That will be a Western Tanager. Now let's go. The birds you hear in the background are actually Western Tanagers. This is a species that's pretty much just on the west side of the United States, and also in the areas of Canada, all the northwest. They live pretty much in the coniferous forests. They are insect eaters, much like they're related to cardinals, but they do eat like fruit too. So if you are lucky enough to live in their range, you can supplement their diet with oranges and things like that. If you have them in the range, we have where I live. I've seen scarlet tanagers, but never this particular species of bird. They're pretty, aren't they? But yeah, they're very similar to the cardinal. I'm just going in with this it's just a very neutral gray. It's actually made up with a little bit of the King's blue and the permanent orange and a little bit of white. So yeah, you can see me mixing it over there on the side. But it's just a very nice neutral gray. This was a commission piece for a gentleman out of Cleveland, Tennessee, and I wanted to make, he didn't want a specific background. He just really wanted the bird. So I wanted to keep it pretty simple background. And that's me. And I'm also able to cut in and make corrections on the actual structure of the bird with that background paint. And you do need to have those soft edges, and that's what I was doing there on the tail. And zooming in on the bill here. Being that this is primarily a insect-eating bird. The actual bill is very important. I have to get it right. So I will fudge around a little bit, you'll see, with this beak, but I'll get it. I'll get it. Now here you see, if you remember what the original sketch looked like in the beginning, I've already elongated the legs. One of the beauties of working with oil paints is it is a pretty forgiving medium, and so I gave this bird a little bit more leg. But yeah, and I'm just kind of blocking in this twig that he's standing on or perched on. And I'll go ahead and emphasize some of the values a little bit more, but this is just the initial stage. I'm blocking it in. Okay, and I'm highlighting the top of his head. The highlight in his top of his head is a combination of vermilion and permanent orange and white. So I'm making a lot of different tints here. And everything's taking form, and I'm bringing his head out a little bit here, and I'm going a little bit more impasto with the outer edges of the bird. I think it adds to his, that rough. It gives him a lot more substance, I suppose. But yeah, he's filling in. I like how he's turning out. I'm really pleased so far. Okay, I'm getting in a little bit of details around his feet and the log. You can see I've already cut my name in. I cut my signature into this. I just used a paint scraper. I like doing that. When paint is wet, that's when oftentimes when I like to sign my work. But I am just kind of, getting the last little bit of details, the edges of his wings, and here's where I get to have fun with the eye. And the shine. I think I mentioned later, is a combination of Michael Harding's phthalo blue and white. It's zinc white and phthalo blue, and I've added a little bit more white to it. And I'm getting in just the little details of the eye, and I keep refining it. And I'm still using the smaller round brush and taking advantage of that little point. And of course, if you're a painter, you know about how much pressure you can get by using to keep that point. And again, that all comes with experience, and I am barely touching this painting. Remember, this is a very small painting, so I can't put a lot of pressure on it. But I have to say, I think I managed to paint this entire piece with only 3 brushes. And there we go. So, and I'm highlighting now, I'm putting in the lighter values, and you get that sense of volume in that little cheek patch there. Just, you can see where his head is turned because we have the darker, cooler color underneath his little jaw area, and he's coming together. I'm excited about this piece. This has been a fun one. I will crave color, and this is kind of filling the bill there. It's scratching that itch for me. I hope you've been enjoying this little mandolin music and the background birds singing. Of course, the background bird singing is actually a Western Tanager. So I thought that was kind of fun. I hope you enjoyed it too. And the last little bit of detail is in, and here we go, folks. This is the finished piece of the Western Tanager. You can see the detail and the impasto work that's in the wood. You can see that paint's so thick it's just goopy, but I think it adds to the texture. And you know, all the little details in his face and around his eyes. This was fun. It was fun to be able to mount the colors up like this. I definitely enjoyed this piece, and I hope my client loves it as well. Ta-da! There he is, the little Western Tanager. You can see how much fun this had to be able to paint all the cadmium reds in his head and the cadmium yellows with gold, the green golds, all the fun stuff. And yeah, this was a fun little piece to do, and I hope you enjoyed watching. And again, if you're interested, go ahead and check out Patreon. You can see the full-length video of this particular piece and many of my other pieces as well. And yeah, I enjoyed this. If you have any questions about anything regarding this painting here, go ahead and leave it in the comments section. I'll be glad to answer that for you. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I'd really like that a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, from here, from Kingsport, Tennessee, I'll see you. Bye.